see what we got going on today. I hope y'all like the intro. Just give you a few peaceful moments outside before we get into it. 16 of you here. Shalom, welcome back to the channel. Let's see who's here. Victory Garden, how goes it? Pretty good. And there's George. Hello, Buckets and Bibles. Shalom. I met a paratrooper. Shalom, SK. Shalom, brother. How you doing after that fire? That was a little bit of excitement. Christy Hubbard. Shalom. Whoop. Grandma Ginger's Fry. I'm going to work on some mending while watching the live stream. Today, may Yah bless. What are you mending, lady? Melissa Boyer Calfs. Hi, and Pharma. Shalom, sister. Looks so nice out. Well, it's not snowing, but snowing has its advantages. When it's snowy out, food doesn't spoil as quick, right? And it's a pretty landscape. Dixon Mason, you're a Jew in a forest living. Well, you're only about half right. I'm not Jewish, but I do live in a forest. I think fighting it and COPD gave me a respiratory infection. Oh yeah, especially if you didn't have air, because there's a reason firefighters wear those oxygen masks. Although normally when it's wood smoke, it's not quite as poisonous. But if there's anything else burning, you know, tarps or blankets or any human-made thing, there can be cyanide in that smoke. Teresa Jukowitz. Hi, Sister Kate. Hey, Teresa. She's the moderator right now. So if any of you guys act up, Teresa will boot you. Hey, Heart of a Torah Woman. Nice to see you again. Miss Sharon, I got your email and I sent you a reply, and I'd be happy to do a joint live stream with you anytime it's convenient. Although this month is really getting busy for me already between taxes, health, and the feasts. I've got like 6 days available in April right now. So if you saw if you saw the camera jiggle a little, it's not an earthquake, it's that ridiculous cat. She followed me, right? She was sleeping on the porch and I'm like 100 feet away and she followed me over. Let's see. Oh, and Pharma, I got your package. Thank you. Very generous of you. Probably will do an opening video of that if that's what you would like, but if that's not the point of it, then I won't. And I did get another package from Arkansas Nanny. She sent some paintings. Very nice. Thank you. It's nice that y'all want to send things, but it's not required. And keep in mind, we have a small house, so I don't need people, you know, supporting my channel by sending me a lot of stuff. You don't have to do that. But Pharma's stuff, she's also Soapy Acres on Instagram. She does sell soap. She's been advertising on Instagram, and her soaps are really cool. She does a wonderful job. They're cute to look at, they smell good, and they work good. So there's a shout out for you. There is NWA Prepper, a channel supporter. Howdy, everyone. I already have lung damage and COPD from burn pits and years of smoking. I got some fish antibiotics and I'm on light duty. I'll be okay. Yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, you treat that, and lungs will heal. Lungs will regenerate if you stop ingesting a bunch of smoke. So if you've been off smoking or anything like that for years, your lungs will bounce back. Looks like a beautiful day. It's a stunning day out here. It is a lovely, sunny, temperature great day. And I just thought I would come on because I hadn't really done any videos in a little while. I've been busy trying to figure out our health issues and do taxes and everything, and I've just been not real motivated. But today, this afternoon, it's such a beautiful day. I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump on live. I'm gonna give a shout out to all my crew. Shalom, crew. Some of this stuff is for you. And you are crew if you are a subscriber. That's it. There's different levels of crew, but if you're a subscriber, then you're crew. Um, what else? I did want to catch up on. Gosh, and then it flies right out my brain. I didn't want to ask about political stuff because I know you watch plenty of channels that talks about political stuff. Unless you wanted to talk about political stuff, and then please bring up whatever concerns you have between the Russia shootings and the bridge falling and, you know, whatever. I thought I would try to be more like, what are you guys doing right now? Just farm work, clothes, and have a new livestock guardian pup that is still in training and chewing. So some has pup chew holes. It's funny how pups do that, isn't it? I've had dogs eat my bathing suit, the soles, the insoles of shoes, telephone cord. Like they can be crazy. Let's see. No, you don't have to do an opening. It was just a gift. Well, thank you so much, lady. I appreciate it. I know you make quality things. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to respond back. Been kind of crazy, but good, and sometimes something else at times too. But yes, we'll email you soon, and we can do that on one of these days. Would love that. Me too. Taurus Sisters channel on Instagram posted some really neat little reels, photos, whatever, with the idea of the upcoming spring feast, which is a very, they're all important. They're all talking about Yeshua in some way or another, and very significant. The spring ones in the unleavened bread and getting the yeast out of your house, and a little leaven leavens a whole loaf. There's just a whole lot going on with Passover coming up, and so all of us, all the brethren, we're getting spiritually attacked, which happens every single time. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes the Father sprinkles his blessings around his feast, and if you're lucky to have that happen, it's like, hallelujah, Father, I really could use that. Sometimes it's an attack, and like keys can't be found and phones can't be found, and things break that you're kind of counting on, and stuff that you were counting on doesn't work, and it's kind of like, wow, I just really need to get tighter with the Father during those times. So I really appreciated them putting those reels out and the things that they said in them, and I thought they did it in a feminine yet purposeful way. So that was really cool. Hate to run, but Scout is on the baseball field, so I want to watch. See y'all later. Thanks for swinging by, brother. I hope your planting and stuff is going well. It's that time of year where as soon as I see the freezing temps leave for a few days, I'm moving all kinds of potted plants outside. That's exactly right, brother. I went into my greenhouse, which had been neglected for the last 3 days, and we had 2 really cold nights, but I was pretty confident that the greenhouse, when I have it, I call it buttoned up. Like, it's so jank, but I've clips and rocks and twigs and whatever to keep the warm air in. I was pretty confident, because the temps didn't go to like 15, it was just below freezing and such, that the plants inside would be okay. And I did do a small experiment in that I bought tomato plants, healthy tomato plants, and put them in there with the express purpose to see how they did in the frost. And there's also a Thai basil plant in there, and they were fine. And all the baby Brussels sprout plants were fine, and the strawberries were fine, and the little plum trees that I brought down from my other property, that I bucketed, are also fine. So I was in there today because I had a thyme plant and a sage plant that I'd also bought that were fine, and I wanted to transplant the sage outside and to do something with the thyme. I didn't want to leave it in its little thing, and I didn't know if it was a perennial or an annual. So it said something about deep container planting, and so I switched it, and I brought the plum trees outside because they were dug out of a yard. They have seen the sun and gotten rained on and everything, and I knew just because they were in a greenhouse doesn't mean they lose that ability. So they got to come out, and some little tomato starts that I had started. And so I think it's funny. You've pulled your plants outside. I got plants outside right now that I'll probably have to make sure I stick back in. I don't know how cold tonight's temps are, but I also have to be careful where I am, because if I leave those plums out, the deer may come and eat the leaves off, so they will go. Marie Negre, question: can you recommend anything to keep my small 5x5 greenhouse that I built myself? This will be my third season using it. Need to find a small heating idea for keeping my seeds warm for the night. Wow. Okay, so Mary, since I'm off grid, I don't have any options for how am I going to keep that warm. What I did for my greenhouse is I painted the southern side concrete blocks black, so that during the day they would absorb the heat and then hopefully be able to dissipate a bit of it at night. And then I also took some of the black pots and filled them with dirt and set them on the south side inside, for the same reason, that they absorb the dirt in sun into the dirt and hopefully be able to keep that warm dirt, heat the space in the evening. Okay, that's an off-grid idea. If you have electric, I would run what do you call it? An extension cord to a lamp in your little greenhouse, like a 100-watt bulb or a 200-watt bulb. You could even get the kind that people use for their chicken houses. Not houses, they're chicks. You know, some of those are 250-watt bulbs. They sell those at TSC, and I would just stick that in there at night, and that should keep it warm enough in there. Another thing that my kids told me about my fruit trees, which I didn't do because there's just no way to watch them and everything, is just make a little smudge pot, some sort of charcoal fire inside of it that just kind of smolders at night, and it gives off some heat. So there's 3 ideas. I mean, something else someone did for their chicks that was off grid was they got one of those tea candles, the little candles that you get at Walmart, put it in a quart jar with the lid with holes in it, so if the thing falls over, it can't just spill out of it. And they lit the little tea candle and set that inside near the chicks, and they would replace that candle like every 4 hours. So there you go. There's 4 ideas. Hey Suze, shalom. Gonna listen while I drive. Thanks for supporting the channel, Hey Suze. She is a crew member. She might even be a Neo Pioneer. I don't know. There's different levels of joining in membership. We just got our seeds started, so much for doing it early this year. Oh well. Well, with snow on the ground, I would think starting your seeds now would be just fine. It's too cold to do anything outside anyway. For once in like 10 years, I feel like I'm right where I ought to be as far as seed starting. I just put some tomato seeds and cucumber seeds in the little pots in the greenhouse and watered them. Now, I could have done that in February, but busy. And my potatoes are already in the ground, but don't give yourself stuff, Pharma. Your garden is always impressive. I'm trying different recipes, trying to find some good unleavened bread recipes that taste decent. Excellent topic, George. Do you guys want to talk about that? I'd be happy to give you some tips. There's shop stuff. Welcome to the channel. I couldn't walk through the sunroom without tripping over potted plants. It was getting a little frustrating. Well, you know, you're the one who did it, so you're frustrated with yourself, but I get it. I was at a sister's house recently, and they have a fairly large house, and they have a living room that they don't use much of, and there were plants all over the flat surfaces in that room, and she said, I'm just thinking of making this room a greenhouse room, like tomato starts, name a plant. Like, they had so many different plants started in their living room, and I thought it was funny. Our house doesn't have enough room, and even though they're southern facing windows, they're not convenient to put these things on. And that's why I'm starting them in the greenhouse, and I'm actually pretty excited about that. We just got a foot of snow. It will rain for the next few days. Looking forward to all the mud. Ha! Right? Just stay inside. Lamp Keeper's Journey, just dropping in to say hello for a bit. Shalom. Thank you for supporting the channel, Lamp Keeper's Journey. She is also on the homestead journey, having property and getting it ready to move on to. And I think she's got a YouTube channel, and she's on Instagram, and y'all, if you want to follow her progress, you just go look her up and join it in. Black water containers also gather heat and keep greenhouse warm. So yeah, she can put something that holds water that's a black container on the south side of your greenhouse. And again, the sun will warm that up, and then the warm water takes a while to get cold, so whatever. All right, Grateful Preps, New Jersey, hello from the Jersey Shore. Tell you what, if I remember all this correctly, the events that inspired the book that Jaws, the movie, was based on was along that shore. That, I think Long Island, New York is where there's lots of baby white sharks. Bitty Boo Brown, shalom, Sister Kate and all. Hey, lady, and she's a moderator. Good to see you. I'm sure you are super busy right now. How is your homestead going? And she's already wielding her wrench. Good job, lady. Now, if the trolls that come in here are not saying anything offensive, just let them stay. They can make whatever little comments they want to make. It's only if they get offensive or immoral that get them out of there. Great advice, love from Ireland. Audrey Q73. It was an Irish lady's video on how to repair a tree that a goat had damaged that allowed me to repair a fruit tree that I had. Now, her repair suggestion worked pretty good. Peat moss around the area where the bark had been taken off and keep it moist, wrap it with saran wrap or whatever. But in our area, some kind of beetle got in there and eventually killed the tree. But it was an Irish woman, young woman, and I really enjoyed it. Shalom, also listening for the drive. Fried unleavened bread coated with butter, then cinnamon sugar, so yummy. Well, Farma beat me to it. I was waiting for one of you guys to say, yeah, tell us about how to make matzah taste better. But that's exactly right. Did anybody else say anything before I roll into that? We do wraps. Donairs are really good. I love unleavened bread. Lamp Keeper's Journey. Yep, just waiting for power to be hooked up so we have running water. Yay, so exciting. You're welcome for the shout out. You get shout outs when you're a member like you are. Watch your six, says Luke B. Why? Is there a turkey coming around behind me? Chocolate covered toffee is my favorite snack for unleavened bread. It is soft and easy to make. My family loves lots of it. All right, there you go. Grateful Preps, Long Island, yep, not too far from here. Just be careful down there on the Jersey Shore. Enjoy the beach, though. It is going slow here on the farm. Do you have any of your cattle left, Biddy? You'll have to forgive me. I haven't watched your videos in a while, and it's not personal. It's just life. I like the smudge idea and the light bulb. I'm going to see if my orange extension cord is long enough. I'm going to plug in a bulb. I'm also going to cinch up the corners better to keep the heat in. There you go. Thank you for such great ideas. You're welcome. I just took care of a rude remark, didn't block, just deleted. Well, good for you, lady. You barely got here and you're already wielding that wrench. You're amazing. That's a great story. I also have a goat. What kind of goat do you have, Miss Audrey? And there is Art Nanny. Hello, I can't wait to start the garden. I'm always late, so this year I feel I'm up to it. I'm commenting as I promised at the ruckus. Okay. Grateful Preps, New Jersey. So did you come through and buy a book? Matzah pizza. Yep, that's another really good idea for the matzah. No pun, a lot of stuff happened here. Did you have to sell them or did you end up giving them away? And I know that you guys had some health issues, that you had some hip replacement, or Rick had a hip replacement, or both of you had a thing. If you want to tell me a little bit about it, I would love to hear it. If you don't want to bother, that's fine too, lady. Thank you, Miss Betty Boop. Great mods are hard to come by. I can't wait for poke salad season soon. Now, I've never eaten poke like that, but I've heard about eating poke salad, and the poke is starting to come up here. It's warm enough that I'm starting to see the beginning leaves come up. What I like here, let me show you. I can show you a couple things. Oh, just be patient. Oh my goodness. Sister Kate, what you doing, lady? Well, you know how it is on the mountain. Let's see. Well, I don't know if I'm going to find that last one. Oh, there's one right there. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ha. Back. Lost light. Shalom. SK looks beautiful out there today. It is here too. We sold them due to health. Well, but a cattle gets decent money, so I feel bad for you, but I also know, like, you didn't get $10 like you would for a rabbit. Rick had both his replaced and I had both knees, so it was just better to sell the critters until we care for them better. Exactly right. I gave my goats to my son because I'm going to have some kind of surgery for my hernias and can't play with them right now. Grateful person, yes, I purchased books and we walked together for a bit. We spoke about how to track the crows. First name is Tara. Oh, Miss Tara. Oh my gosh, you're awesome, lady. Yeah, the crows are still around. They're down in the orchard area. I haven't talked to them lately just because I've been busy, but I saw one of them chasing a hawk away the other day and I was like, yes, yes. Listen to this. I'm on the home stretch recovering from scarlet fever. My kid brought it home. My daughter got scarlet fever and it scared me to death. I didn't realize that it was easily treatable by antibiotics. And when they gave me the diagnosis, I was like, oh my God. And the guy said, no, it's cool. We'll give her antibiotics. She'll be fine. Because in the old days, if you got scarlet fever, it could damage your heart. Okay, so here's what I wanted to show you, because one of you brought up the poke. This, let me see if you can see it, because I can see it in the reflection. There it is. This is called curly dock. This is a weed that you can eat that comes out in the springtime, and it has those wavy leaves on it. It's a broad-leafed plant, and the leaf edge is really wavy, and that is edible. This is called dead nettle. It's got these little teeny purple flowers on it, and it's got this interesting shaped head on it. It looks like a mint because I'm sure it's from the mint family. Also edible. Supposedly those are really sweet. I don't like eat them specifically, but I've already had some of this in salad. This little one looks like the other one kind of, and it's called henbit or henbet. And supposedly chickens like to eat it. It's like a little fountain, and it is also edible. Like, I just clip the top off like that and I throw it in my salad. And then there is plantain out now. This is, I think, is the narrow leaf plantain. Plantain has the long ribs in the leaf right there, so it's a little bit it makes it a little bit more like celery. Plantain is really good for, like, not serious skin wounds, bug bites, poison ivy, breakouts, stuff like that. You can just crush it up and rub it on it. Just crush it up. Some people chew it. It's also edible, but I don't normally, because it is, you know, a little bit, got a little bit of that fiber going on in it. I'm not as fond of that, but all of them taste kind of like grass, which is not great, but I mean, it's just as much as any lettuce, so I just enjoy having them, and I throw them into our foods. So there you go. Well, time to pack up and go home. Today was fasting day, so I'm looking forward to a huge plate of spaghetti. Everyone have a blessed Shabbat. Just a little warning. And I know you're saying huge like fun, huge good, but it's way better not to eat just one big, huge meal. It puts pressure on your lower sphincter of your esophagus and causes weakness, and that's how these hernias can happen. And so it's better if you have like a plate of spaghetti or anything in moderation, and have like 6 smaller meals during the day. That's from my doctor. Just throwing that out there. Enjoy the spaghetti, though. I love spaghetti. Shalom, sister. Have to have to feed the goaties and close up. Have a great evening. Thanks for stopping by, Pharma. Always good to see you. All right. Oh, from Ireland. I want to hear. She's a famous goat in Ireland because she has an artificial leg. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to look you up. After she survived a vicious dog attack. She's a wild Connemara mountain goat I rescued, and she's years old now, living her best life. Well, good for you, Miss Audrey. That's awesome. So what is her artificial leg made of? Is it like wood? Or is it like a polymer with like a flexible joint for her? I'm going to have to look up your story. That's just really cool. That is amazing. All right. There is great. Shalom at Lost Light. What are we hunting today? A Sasquatch? If there were Sasquatches, they would be here, because we got tons of wood and everything else. You hear that noise in the background? That's my new turkey hen. She's down in the ditch. We're back there behind me. And she's squawking up a storm. She's right back there. Harriet! She's calling to my Tom, who's across the street. That was another catching up thing for me to share with y'all. I uploaded a video with her and Tom on it. I just felt so bad for the male turkey we had. He just like struts his stuff all day long. He scratches his wings along the ground, and he's constantly puffing his feathers up. And he has impressive control of those feathers. Like in some of the videos and reels I've done of him, like I'll get on one side of him, and he will take all the feathers in his tail and he will turn them in a direction according to how I'm relating in space to him. And like he can pull all of his chest feathers up and lay them all down, and all of his back feathers up and lay them all down. And I felt so bad for him that he was, trying to attract a female, and there aren't any in the area. And so my son and daughter-in-law found Harriet up where they live, and she's at the edge of the road. She's still looking for him. They found Harriet, and they contacted me and said, hey, we think we found a hen that's exactly the breed. She looks so much like him. And I think it was Paula Jo Davis, who's another subscriber, another crew member, who said that she thought he was what they call a Spanish black, that breed. And there's also another, I don't know if it's Irish black or British black, something black turkey breed. And she does look exactly like him in that her feathers are the same color. Even her neck is red and blue and kind of gray like his is, and it changes. When the first thing he did when he saw her was jump on her, and he was standing on her back, and I think he was actually compressing her lungs a bit. Like he's standing up there and he's like, woo, this is really cool, but he was not in the right position for what he wanted to do. And she started kind of with her neck out and breathing in, and her little waddle thing started turning kind of blue. And I'm like, I think he's squishing her lungs a little bit. So I had to push him off. But it got red, she stood up and walked around and it got red all of a sudden, switched colors. So I'm like, yeah, they look so much alike that I think Paula Joe Davis and my son were right. I think we've matched them up pretty well. Now, they have not been super friendly with each other. First day, she was biting him in the face and in the eye, but this is like third or fourth day, and now they were just communicating with each other, so that's cool. Gorgeous day over there. It sure is. And where are you, Fred? Bigfoot. I'm thinking about turkeys this year, too. So this is my first year ever to have turkeys. And there was no real reason for me not to have them before, except that I heard it's kind of rough raising them from young poults. And so I didn't want to risk it because it's expensive to buy the babies. And then I found a secret out from someone who'd done turkeys who said you have to keep their water warm and really them warm the first couple of weeks. Like, they cannot drink cold water because they can't keep their temperature regulated. And so if you don't give them warm water, they will just get too cold and die. Now, someone had given us turkeys years and years ago that were pets, but those things were way overweight. They were 50 pounds and the male could barely walk, and coyotes got them. Yeah, I had them in a pen, but the one night my husband didn't put the one male up and didn't lock the door, and the coyotes came in and got them, which is unfortunate. It was unfortunate. I felt bad about it. Biddy Brew Brown love turkeys, but they will just up and die on you. They have heart attacks, says Biddy Brew. And then I was watching a British guy's video on them, and he said there's an illness called blackhead that chickens can survive, but turkeys get it and they die 12 hours later. So there is Patty Sanchez. Shalom. Shalom. Yeah, Patty posted a reel recently of a gumbo that a brother is making that we are going to be able to share at our women's retreat soon. Turkeys are so hard to raise. I always put a couple of chicks in with the poults to teach them how to not die, which is awesome. There's an idea for you. Like I said, I've never done the baby one, so that's the only advice I had on it. Yes, Grandma Ginger, how is your daughter? I should have asked about that sooner. Oh my God, hang on, let me see what Audrey's saying. She's 14 years old. Wow, that is old. Well, maybe not for a wild goat. Her first leg was carbon fiber and recycled human prosthetics made by French Dr. Antoine Martre in Paris. It was too heavy and stiff. He made a second leg with less carticulated joint. Man, that's amazing. That's really cool. I like hearing how human innovation helps our natural world. I think we can make a harmonious relationship there. It doesn't have to be just all one way or the other, but that we use our smarts to make their lives better. That's really cool, Audrey. Carbon with an articulated joint. There you go. I've had them before, lost them to the coyotes. The male was a cool dude. I can describe Tom was a cool dude. Like, I know some Tom turkeys can be too aggressive and want to like sort of attack you, and they're big. It's a little bit scary. But he is very calm. Like, he and I came to an understanding. I just like stand behind him with my hands, and I kind of, if I want you to go one way, I'll do this with this hand, and if I want him to go another way, I'll do this, and if I want him to go forward, I do both hands. And they see behind them. You can, with the eyes on the side of the head, you can see them looking at you. And then I just walk forward, and he understood. All right, if she's walking for me, I'm going to walk away. And I got him to go into kennels, and I did the same thing with Harriet. I was kind of like, she wants to walk away from me, okay, but I'm indicating with this hand, and so she will turn away from that hand. And it's like, all right, she went in the kennels, and that was good. I want them protecting at night. Most turkeys I've dealt with, toms, don't normally get aggressive until they hit about 3 years old. Good to know. I don't know how old this guy is. He's at least a year because my son, someone gave it to him last year and then we got him this year. So he's probably 2. But with the way things are now, we get along okay. I don't interact with them very much aside from letting them out and giving them some food. So Biddy Boo, are you guys recovered okay from all the surgeries? How are your knees? We arrived. Looking forward to seeing you. Oh, and me to see you too. Yeah, I forgot. You guys would be there, wouldn't you? I'm hoping to have the same room I had last year. I sent Katie Lynn a email about that. If she doesn't know that, would you pass that along to her? And yeah, I think it'll be a good time. A yaw-filled time, right? Right before the feast. And there's some stuff we're going to talk about this year that's needs to be said in a good way. She had another procedure 2 weeks ago and they took out several malignant ones and drained and put more stents on her pancreas. She is very, very tired but seems to be doing well. Well, praise Yah. I'm watching a show on Netflix called The Resident. That is a medically based show and it's pretty realistic. And I'm liking that show. I am. They talk about some really serious medical things on there and show lots of different kind of surgeries and stuff. And on one hand, you know, they're saying there's improvements that are needed in the medical world, which of course there are. But also I'm just super impressed with the level that medicine has reached now with things like articulated joints for goats and surgeries like on a pancreas, right? My knees are great now. Rick's hips are good, but he is needing other surgeries, and I've been having issues with the ticker again. Well, lady, you know what I'm gonna ask. And don't take it wrong. It's asked in love. Have you stopped smoking? If you haven't, please stop. Your ticker will thank you. That's good to learn and watch so things aren't so scary when we hear about them. And my life has been saved 3 or 4 times already. I've had a cesarean section. I've had my appendix out. I've had a brain tumor removed. Like, I am not anti-medicine. I think, see, nope, I haven't laughed out loud. Lady, I love you. Give them up. Get chewing gum, get suckers, whatever. Eat almonds. I don't know. I hope everything works out for you. Yeah, I'm not anti-medicine. I'm a faithful person, but I think God gave us the medicine we have nowadays. We were not born in the medieval times. And so there you have it. Oh, goodness. I've been talking a lot. I'm going to take a drink of water. There's a movie coming out too that Pastor Joe's been researching that he really wants to see called Civil War. I guess that's coming out in like 2 weeks, and it's not about the one we already had. It's, I guess, looking forward, and we may actually go see that somewhere. If not, we'll see it on Netflix or something. Quitting smoking. Hang on. There's Crazy Canuck. We lost one Canuck and got another one. I tried to quit smoking, went to gaining weight, and was like, heck, if cigs don't kill me, the weight will. Laugh out loud. We'll give them both up, lady. Quitting smoking 15 years ago was one of the best things I've ever done, said Grateful Preps, New Jersey. It's just really good for you. Yes. Me to triple bypass. Yes, me to triple bypass. But I try to do as much natural as I can. Changing my diet helped a lot. Yep. Diet change. Just the amount of food we eat. I knew after I had my children and as I got older, I was eating more than I needed. And it was a holdover from high school and activity, college, and all that. And I knew it. And I'm half convinced that one of my hernia things is from eating a lot and laying down at night with all of that resting on my belly and putting that pressure on that sphincter at the bottom of the esophagus. Now, the other thing that probably is true is lifting too much strenuous weight. Yeah, I had to look at myself and say, all right, I've picked up pregnant goats, I've picked up logs, I've used to carry 50-pound bags of feed. Like, there were things I was probably doing that were beyond what my muscles were capable of handling, and yet I did them anyway because I wanted to get something done. Marie Negre, I am Italian. We love the pasta and the bread, right? I love me a good spaghetti. I love bolognese, on the vermicelli. And I could eat 3 helpings, but we don't need it. We can eat less and you still have good flavor. Right now, I am so limited. I can only eat bland foods. And this is not me complaining. This is me sharing. And so I can't eat anything spicy. I'm not supposed to eat anything greasy because we have fatty liver disease. And my doctor said almost everybody has it. I'm trying to cut back on things like the French fries and the potato chips and cooking in butter and having, ribeye steaks and stuff like that to try to cut down on that fat, because you can fix that. You can fix fatty liver. You can lose weight and exercise more and eat less fat. So my diet's been limited and it's actually been good for me. Once I couldn't eat a lot, I stopped eating a lot. And I feel better for it. Cortland Foster, Bitty Boo gotcha. Hey fam, the encouraging community. Fair warning, trolls, you only get a couple of times. After that, you're out. And especially if you're being offensive. Yes, indeed, sister, we tend to do more than we should as we get older because we did it when we were young and we don't understand. I don't want to accept that I'm not as strong as I was. I like being strong. But there's the human limitations, and it's okay I've told myself it's okay for you to not do some of the things that you shouldn't have been doing. Yeah. And I'm not trying to bum any of you out. I'm trying to give you fair warning so you can avoid some of the things that, are waiting as we get older. Yes, agreed. That's right. There's a reason grandmas sit there and do things like quilt blankets instead of chopping trees down and dragging them out of the woods. I've had so much heartburn in the past and found out that kimchi is great, that don't need to eat so much. As we were unbuttoning our pants, a few tablespoons full is enough. Right. Yeah, heartburn is a key indicator that you are either eating too much or too spicy. It's your body saying, hey, we're having acidity in the esophagus. It's backing up from the stomach, and cut it out. That whole thing about 6 light meals during the day instead of 3 super heavy ones is true. And also the eat like a king in the morning, like a prince in the afternoon, and like a pauper at night. That's also true. Not eating after 6 or really drinking 2 hours before you go to sleep allows everything that you've put in your stomach to move down into your intestines. And so when you lay down, you don't have anything backing back up. Still dragging trees, just finding better ways to do it. Exactly right. Like use your Terex or use your cow or your horse or your tractor instead of trying to do it by hand. There you go. So Marie, where do you live in Italy? I've had so much heartburn. Oh, that's right. I already read that. And eating things like kimchi and sauerkraut and fermented foods helps your stomach digest what you're putting down in it. All right. So, Bitty Boo, you got a garden in? Are you growing anything? I should watch one of your videos. I know you had that shed that was all yours and you were decorating it, and there was an exchange of dogs, like you had a big dog and a little dog and cats. We have 2 cats now. It's ridiculous. We're allergic, and yet these cats. The one our daughter convinced us to take from her, and the other one just showed up. And he's such a sweet cat, thank goodness. But it's like, they do things that even dogs don't do. Like every time I get out of the car, if I leave the door open, my little female cat jumps in the car. And then when she sees me coming, she jumps back out. And it's like, what are you doing in there? Why are you bothering with a car? You're a cat. Like I don't understand it. Happy springtime. Gonna do tubs this year. We've got a guy here who has been doing tubs for like 5 years. He's got blueberry plants 5 feet tall and trees that are blooming and bearing fruit still in a tub. Like, there is nothing wrong with tub gardening. Numa Chan, I found increasing acidity relieves heartburn. For me, more fermented foods, right? If you don't eat any at all, stick them in your diet, right? Our stomach acid is very, very strong, but you don't want it backing up into your esophagus. That's the whole issue with GERDs and these hernias and everything. The hiatal hernia traps a pocket of acid at the top of your stomach because of the way the stomach pops through the diaphragm. And so that's why there are a lot of people with heartburn getting the medicine that kills the acidity. But because your stomach is acidic and that's how it digests food, like, you still need some acidity, and it's kind of, it's kind of a balance, really. All right, so Yep, that is very true. My family is from Sicily, and my mom's family is from northern Italy, but raised in New Jersey. Oh, from Sicily, huh? Oh, I'm never going to make you angry, Marie. And I've been to northern Italy, too. I went up through Milan, and I don't think Assisi is northern, but I don't think it's southern. I've been through there, too. Oh, my goodness. I have 5 dogs. Had 1 cat until last week. I found a tiny kitten in the driveway Friday, and it is driving me nuts. I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine trying to feed that little thing and make sure nothing happens to it. It would make me insane. I'd probably just put it in a little kennel and feed it until it was at least half grown. And it's like, okay, now you're big enough that I'm not going to accidentally step on you. Kitten is so young, it still has to have its boo-boo or bobo cleaned to potty. Oh, I get it. Moist washcloth or paper towel to stimulate the, if I had goats in milk, that's what I'd be feeding that baby. But I know you can get formula and stuff at the store. All right. Gonna try turnips, carrots, and radish again. Been really working on the soil. Excellent job. I've already planted turnips. I planted turnips in a field that's flat. I planted them 3 to 4 weeks ago, and the biggest ones of them are getting leaves that big-ish. So in another week, I'll be able to go up there and start picking the greens, because I really like the turnip greens. I like the turnip at the end of the season too, but I really, really like the greens. So that's why I do it. All right, y'all. It's almost been an hour. I need to go feed my husband and take care of my evening time chores. Let us show you this cat if I can get her in the picture. Where is she? She's looking at some kind of bird over there. This kitten is turning into a holy terror. She is starting to chase the dogs and watching a Great Dane run from her, as funny as could be. You should get a video of that and make a reel of it, Biddy. That would be hilarious. Audrey, thank you for stopping by and for sharing your story about your goat. And it was really pleasant having you here. If you don't have anything better to do, feel free to subscribe. People on here who are my subscribers are called Kate's Crew. It is a title that they chose for themselves. Sharon, it's always good to see you. I'll look for that email. Grandma Ginger Farm, wind has died down some, so I need to go do some comfrey transplants. May Yah bless. Would love to see that. Marie. I'm planting my Asian vegetables I cannot get from my friends or the farmer's market this year. Good job. I found a Asian market nearby and bought Malabar spinach, which I love. And was there something else I got there vegetable wise? I don't remember now, but I got spices and sauces and stuff. It was good to see you. Yes. Shalom all, much love and hugs. Much love and hugs to you too, Miss Biddy Boo. Sub shalom, y'all. Yeah, the kitten video. Come on now. You're going to get 1 million hits. I just gave you an awesome idea. Do the kitten video. All right, y'all. Bless you. Shalom. Thanks for stopping by.